Hello friends, I'm Lauren Himmelreich. Welcome to Perennial Living. Today I'm going to be pricking out some pepper plants to start indoors, and later on they will go into the garden. So I have with me some important tools. I have a pencil. I have, of course, my little pepper seedlings. I have a tray of cells which are quite deep. They're a little bit longer. And a tray to catch the excess water. And of course, we have some soil. Now the type of soil you use can be anything from what you buy in the store to start growing seedlings for your garden, or it can be some nice composted soil that you've made at home yourself. Anything that provides a good, nourishing environment for the seedlings and for seeds will work. So I want to tell you a little something about these little seedlings that I started indoors first of all. So these, as you can see, they're a little big actually. I should have pricked them out probably a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't get around to it until just today. But they're actually growing really well, and I got the seeds. These are miniature peppers, so they come in all different colors. They're yellow, red, orange, and I was having some for supper one night, and I scraped out all the little seeds and I dried them on a paper towel, and then the next day I put them in this little pot full of soil and covered them up ever so gently, and lo and behold, I got tiny baby pepper plants now. So I'm super excited. So we're going to be pricking these out and putting them into these cells. Now, I already put soil in the cells and I watered it down with my very heavy handy dandy watering can. So I would encourage you to do that after you put the soil in, or even before. Mix up the soil with some water so that it's nice and moist, and it's a great environment for your baby seedlings to go into. And do this for anything that you plant, whether it be a seed or a seedling, perennial flowers or a vegetable. Whatever you're planting, always make sure that you create the right environment with the soil and moisture content. So I'm going to start by just scrunching up this pot a little bit, just to loosen up the soil around the plants. And just work it really good. Okay, don't be afraid to. We want to push these little seedlings out, so we're not worried about disturbing the soil right now. That's what we want. Okay, and I'm going to just gently, always try and grab the seedlings by the leaves, not by the stem. The stem is very fragile right now, and if you handle it too much, you can handle it very gently, but try not to handle it more than you need to, because you might kill the plant. So I always try and reach for the little leaves first and just prod them out with the pencil. And as you can see, I'll hold that up close, there's a fine little root system right there. So we're just going to put that into one of these cells. So I'm just going to make a little hole where I want this to go. And I'm going quite deep, because when you're transplanting seedlings, you don't ever want to go just up to where the soil last hit the stem. You want to plant them nice and deep. And the reason for that is it just makes for a stronger stem. They don't get so loose and gangly, and they just grow up bigger and stronger that way. So I'm going to use my pencil, I don't know if you can see, and I'm going to push down the root and most of the stem all the way down into the soil. And then I'm going to carefully cover it up, and then using my fingers, just push it down, give it a little shove into the soil. And you don't have to be too precious about it, but that's about what it should look like. Okay? So I'm going to dig another hole for the next one, and I have about 12 of these, I think. Gently use my pencil to prod out the next little seedling there. See it? It's going to go into the hole. Use my pencil to gently push it all the way down. Cover up that stem as much as possible, and then push it down even more. Here we go again. Now, I do love perennials, but I also love, oh, that's a good root, look at that. I also love being able to sustain a healthy lifestyle, which includes food gardening, gardening vegetables and fruits and berries. And I love that I can come out in Alberta when everything is still brown and sleeping, and we're still expecting a big snowfall on Sunday, and always at the end of April there's a huge snowstorm. So I love that these annual plants allow me an opportunity to start gardening quite early. Even though I can't be out in my perennial beds right now, I can at least start growing things inside my home and be able to live a more sustainable lifestyle and provide food for my family to enjoy. And starting seeds or seedlings inside the house is such a great way to garden with little kids as well. I have 6 children. 3 are grown adults and 3 are still growing. And I love that they can participate in things like this with me. My youngest daughter, my seedling, helped me a couple of weeks ago to start some seeds for some herbs that we wanted to grow for the garden this year. And I was more than happy and absolutely thrilled to let her do most of the planting of those tiny little seeds. And as she planted, I was able to explain to her how we do things and why we do things the way we do. And so it's very exciting to me to know that I'm able to pass on some of my knowledge, as limited as it may be, to my kids, so that one day, you know, when they feel like starting up their own gardens, when they have their own homes, else is great about gardening with kids, and even gardening on your own, is that gardening is so much like life. And we can learn so many wonderful life lessons when we tend to a garden and learn how to grow things. I always tell my kids that if they want to learn about anything, all they need to do is pay attention to the nature around them. So nature is the very best teacher we have, isn't it? Look at this big one. That one's almost a little tree, isn't it? Last one. There we go. Let's have a look. I have a few cells left over on the end, so I think I'm going to just use them up and plant some lettuce, because today is lettuce planting day. So I'll be back in a little while and I'll show you how to plant some lettuce seeds. And isn't that great? Got some pepper plants ready to go. We'll be planting the lettuce today. The herbs are already sitting in the windowsill, growing taller and taller day by day. I'm so excited for this new gardening season. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you had fun learning how to prick out plants. And it's the same method for whatever you're happening to be pricking out, whether it be lettuce plants or tomatoes. Whatever you decide to grow, you can throw it in a big container, a big pot, and you can prick them out individually later on and put them into cells so that they grow in their own container. And then that way it's a lot easier to transplant into your garden, and you can space them out a lot easier. Also, it gives you a little bit something to start in the house, and this is something you can do continuously throughout the gardening season, is grow things in your home so that even if you have a smaller garden bed like I do, you can continuously replant the bed. So when you harvest something out, you can put in something else that's all ready to go in and already, partially grown, so it won't be like starting it from seed, and you can take better advantage of your garden bed that way. So I hope that these simple little tips and ideas helped, and that you have so much fun planning and planting out your garden this year. Thanks for joining me. Happy gardening.